It's been 30 days since I took the plants that I got from Verdant Dwellings out of the soil and into a semi-hydroponic substrate. I'm really excited to show you what's been happening. It is really, really amazing. You're gonna love it. First up is my Piggyback plant. Of course, the first thing to note is it's still alive. Look at it there. How gorgeous does that look? And I'm telling you, there is a lot of new growth that is happening there. Check that out. Isn't that just amazing? That is definitely a new leaf. All these little small ones are quite new. It's just really amazing. This is a plant that I was very concerned about when I did the unboxing, largely because I'd never dealt with a plant like this before, and I didn't quite know what the root system was going to look like. So at the time I decided I wasn't going to wash it. I was going to go through the no wash method and put it straight into LECA, which is exactly what I did. When I took that plant out of the soil, it did not disappoint. It was exactly what I thought, and that really validated my decision to put it straight into LECA. And I want to show you what those roots now look like. You can see the tiny roots that have emerged from that area. It's looking really, really good. There's more of them over there. It's definitely safe to say that doing the no wash method for this particular plant was a good way to go. That's not to say it wouldn't work if you use the wash method. I'm pretty sure it would. It's just that I knew I was coming back to see you again in 30 days time, and I wanted to still have a plant that looked halfway decent, and I'm not too disappointed with this. Now, before I get too carried away, I should show you some of the casualties. There have been some leaf casualties. It would be actually weird if they weren't, and you can see there's some leaves over there that, fell off and got too dark. You can see the edges of that leaf over there not doing so hot. That one over there as well, looking a little bit suspicious. And there as well. It's not too many of them, but they are there. And of course, I did talk about humidity being a very important factor for the care of this plant. I initially put it in my sort of makeshift humidity dome when I took it out of the soil, but there were so many plants living in my grow tent. It was really, really humid. So I took it out of that thing and I just had it live in the ambient conditions of the grow tent, which I must say the humidity was very, very high. I really very much suspect that the humidity is one of the main reasons that the leaves of this plant have really quite remained untouched, and it's doing so well. I'm considering this a complete success. It really, really is a complete success. So all I do is just get my precision shears and really just get rid of those leaves, because it's absolutely fine to get rid of them because I want my plant to look good. When I do that, my plant's really gonna look good. So I'm really happy with the progress that this plant has made, and I am considering this a semi-hydroponics success. Next up is a plant that I was very, very nervous about transitioning. This is my bloodleaf plant. Look at those two. So for this particular plant, oh my goodness, did you guys see that? Oh my gosh. Thankfully, my plant is still okay. At least I showed it to you before the accident happened. Oh my goodness. And again, this is just highlighting the beauty of semi-hydroponics. I can just pick that up and put it back in, and it's not so much of a cleanup. But, because this is the mineral-based substrate, it's a little bit messier. If this was LECA, none of this would be here. I just picked them all up. But anyway, back to the showing of the plant. So I had 3 plants in that one pot. So I decided to run an experiment. So 2 plants I put in my mineral-based substrate, which is like pon, and the other one I put in LECA. And you can see there's been quite some tremendous growth from the time this plant was put into semi-hydro. Now let's start with the plant that's in LECA. This is the one that I thought might not do too well, but it's doing good. And I think for both of these plants, actually, because the root system was so thin, I decided that I was not going to wash. So this was a no wash method, and things are looking good. You can see the new growth coming through there with the LECA plant. There's some new growth there. The plant has gotten quite much taller, and you can see that there. We have had some leaf damage. Look there, there's some damage on that particular leaf. Humidity, there was a lot of humidity in the grow tent, and you can see there's some waste there. This is a leaf that just dropped off. but I want to show you the root system. You can see the small fragile roots there, and there's one root that's coming through there. All in all, the plant transitioning to LECA using the no wash method, I think worked really well for this plant. Now, let's take a look at the one that went into the mineral blend. This one is also doing well. Both plants are still there. There has been a little bit of leaf loss. You can see this decaying leaf over there. But on the whole, I'm really happy with it. There's some new growth there as well. Now, this one, bringing it closer, look at how that plant looks. It looks really, really nice. And you can see, oh, hang on, some of the new growth right there, and that's some of the dead leaves that have fallen off. Now, this is what the root system looks like. There's really not much to report. It's harder to tell, to see with the plant that's in the mineral-based substrate, but you can see here, this ridge here, that's where the old roots are that weren't washed off. So honestly, I'm happy with this one as well. As to which medium the plant prefers, I don't know, actually. I think it's really hard to tell. I mean, if someone were to, push me to the wall and force me to give them an answer, I'd probably say the mineral-based blend, because those leaves look a lot more intact than the leaves from the plant that I put in LECA. So maybe this is a plant that actually loves that extra humidity that putting it in the mineral-based substrate that's like pon gets. So yeah, all in all, again, I think this has been a great success. If you haven't seen the unboxing video, I will link it below in the description below, but that's a great place to start so you can see what condition these plants were in when I got them, what size they were, because there's been a tremendous increase in growth as well. And that's because one, we're optimizing the conditions that these plants are living in. They are getting water consistently, they are getting nutrition consistently, and they had maximum humidity, and they had a lot of light. So really they had nothing to do but grow. So success. I'm happy with that. Before we move on to the next plant, I have a favor to ask. I'd like you to give me suggestions as to what I should do with all these extra plants. So with this mystery plant box series, I'm getting nursery to send me plants, and it is a lot of plants in some cases. I can't keep all of them. So let me know what you think I should do to not necessarily get rid of them. I would love to rehome them. Give me your ideas on what's the best way of me getting plants to the right home. Let's do the next plant. This is my Epipremnum Cebu Blue. Oh, look at that gorgeous beauty. Doing so well. This is one of the plants I actually washed. So we've had a lot of the no wash method with those two, but this one I washed. There was 3 plants in the pot. I took the plant out of the soil, gave it a nice good wash. I washed that one, and then I decided I was going to try in my mineral-based blend, and the reason I decided I was going to do that was because I really wanted the roots to get going very quickly, and I knew they would in this blend, because I wanted my plant to still be looking amazing by the time I came back on the 30-day mark. It would have worked in LECA as well, but this for me I thought was going to be a sure thing, and I was not wrong. Look at the growth that we've had here. It was so much smaller when we started. It's now looking so good. Let's look at the all-important root system, shall we? Look at that. You can already see that there's roots looking gorgeous there. Lots of amazing roots, lots of fuzzy roots. They look just gorgeous and amazing. So all in all, Cebu Blue was a fairly easy transition for me. All those leaves are looking amazing. No damage to the leaves whatsoever. Take a look at that. How beautiful does that look? And those are the latest leaves. Gorgeous. Okay, and now we have one more, because I got 4 plants from Verdant Dwellings, and this one I was not so excited about because I needed to put it on a moss pole. This here is my Rhaphidophora pertusa plant, looking just divine. I really didn't want moss pole plants. I really didn't want them because, you know, my stand on moss poles is I don't like taking care of them. And of course, because this was a challenge, I had to take care of this one. But this one was a relatively easy transition, actually. I was quite surprised that it took so well because a lot of people complain about the fact that they can't get plants that are like this directly into LECA. So for this plant, I took it out of the soil, washed the roots, and I put it immediately into the LECA in there. Of course, before I did that, I put it on a moss pole, and I put it on one of my DIY plastic sheet backed moss poles that help keep the moisture in, and the sphagnum moss is mixed in with tree fern fiber as well, because tree fern fiber is really, really good at soaking up that nutrient solution or water really, really quickly, and the sphagnum moss is really good at holding onto it. So the two of them together is a winning combo. But yes, look at my gorgeous, look at my beauty. This is the latest leaf there. There has been a lot of growth from the time I moved it from the soil into the LECA. Let me show you what the roots look like. Look at that. Look, 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 look. Beautiful new roots, just absolutely beautiful. Now, something that I particularly loved was, and I don't know if you can see it here, right there is an area root. You can see the area roots have already started to grow into the substrate, into the moss pole. Close up of the new leaves there. Look at that. Look at that. That is my plant. Looking so beautiful. And it sits in that cache pot. And at this point, this plant actually doesn't even need the Velcro plant ties because it is well attached in the moss. See? See? It won't move when I tug at it. It's doing really well. I'm really happy with how this Rhaphidophora has gone. So far for my first video, thank God, 4 out of 4, I think this has been a success. Let me know what you think. Do you think I could have used a different method? Do you have any questions about why I did what I did? Let me know what you think. And if you want to see a more detailed breakdown of exactly how I transitioned these plants, you can find that at thelecaqueen.com. A big thank you to Verdant Dwellings for trusting in my vision, and I'm really grateful that they provided these plants for this video. And if you haven't checked out their website, go check them out at verdantdwellings.com.au. They've kindly provided 10% off if you buy plants from their site using a code VerdantQueen10. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.